Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range Shorts. So I'm going to start doing these short little information tracks that hopefully will give you some important information in a quick and easy manner. And today, what I want to talk about, because it seems to be extremely concerning, and that is microplastics in the brain. Okay, they have found that it's making its way into human brains at much higher levels than any other organs. So, this study that I'm talking about was published in Nature Medicine on February 3rd, and it has confirmed that tiny little fragments of plastic are actually getting through the protective blood brain barrier and certainly may be affecting cognitive health and function. And that is something we're very concerned about because these plastics can clog little, your microvessels and so on. So the University of New Mexico also tested autopsy samples from 2016 to 2024. And in just over 8 years, the amount of microplastic fragments in the brain has increased by about 50%. Now, when I think about something like this, and this is just strictly my opinion, it makes it sound as though it's being aerolized along with some of the other toxins that they've been throwing at us. But they have found, and I've heard two different sources. One says that the samples from 2024 contained enough microplastics, which would be the equivalent of a plastic spoon, and another person compared it to a credit card of plastic on a regular basis. And these brains are affected by that they discovered that were affected by these microplastics also had dementia. So they're finding these high concentrations in the brain extremely unexpected and very alarming. And that is why I decided to do this little video short about that, so you can start to think about what you might be able to do to reduce that from happening as much as within your abilities. Sometimes you use plastic chopping boards, and they're going to be chopping plastic right into the food that you consume. And that's something to think about. But people are constantly being exposed to more and more. And they said that the particle size is so small that it's roughly the width of two COVID, what they call viruses, which are poisons actually. But anyway, that being said, the rate of accumulation is mirroring the environmental buildup and exposure. It breaks down over time, it degrades and becomes small enough within the human body that it becomes able to cross the blood-brain barrier. So brain tissue contains anywhere from 7 to 30 times more microplastics than any other of the vital organs. So that is, again, why it's extremely concerning. Also, researchers tested 52 human brain samples from 2016 to 24, taken from the frontal cortex, which is the part of the brain which is responsible for judgment, decision making, and muscle movement. So, in the brain, these concentrations have reached around 5,000 micrograms per gram. So that's far higher than in the liver, the kidneys, and it's carried around 400 micrograms of plastic per gram. So there's 400 in micrograms per gram of plastics in your organs, such as kidneys and livers and so on. But your brain is playing hog with the plastic because it's 5,000 micrograms per gram. I know those are very small figures, but they don't belong in the human body at all, and they can clog up vessels. So that's why I'm telling you about this. It's very concerning. Um, Let me see what else I might add here. Again, it's the size of a plastic spoon, the amount of a plastic spoon, or the amount of a credit card. So, in deceased people that they checked, some levels were higher, over 26,000 micrograms per gram. In the dementia samples, some of the particles were dumped or clumped together in areas with inflammation, raising concerns about the link between microplastics and brain tissue damage. So, again, this is very important. It's correlating these microplastics to dementia. And we already have dementia problems as it relates to heavy toxic metals. So it's like we are really and truly being bombarded by things that are actively killing us. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. And it's small wonder that the dementia problems are starting at much earlier ages, and our length of life in America has gone down substantially already, and so has birth rates. We have some real serious problems going on, and maintaining your health is extremely important now, which means you have to detoxify, and you're going to have to detoxify in some capacity every single day, as much as you possibly can. I know we all miss sometimes, but another little bit of tidbits on this is that the particles in the brain that they saw and studied were actually mostly sharp, little nanoscale shards and flakes. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, a stroke. If they are crossing the blood-brain barrier, it's very serious. So they're believing that this enters our bodies through eating, drinking, and breathing, and that's the one that I'm most concerned about because it can be aerosolized. Um, a study published in January found that plastic pollution to be significantly higher in placentas from premature babies or premature births. Um, Now, our organs, liver and kidneys, are designed to filter toxins, while the brain has a more limited clearance system. So, kidneys and liver at least can get rid of some of the toxins, but the brain is more limited that way because there was supposed to be a protective blood-brain barrier. Well, these things get small enough to be able to cross that, and therein lies the problem. And plus, they're also looking at the fact that we know that the brain is very high levels of fat, cholesterol, and for some reason, it seems to trap the plastics more readily. So that's why it's probably accumulating more so in the brain than some of the other organs, plus the limited detoxification of the brain itself capacity. So these microplastics are somehow hijacking their way into the brain along with dietary fats as another possible route of getting in. And they're also wondering about things like heart stents and artificial joints and so on. If there's, coming off of that, and I would have to add dentures to that too because they're made out of plastic as well. So the plastics might obstruct blood flow in the capillaries, your smallest little tiny vessels that are very important in getting to certain areas. So this is very concerning. Find a way to detox. One of the detox methods that has actually done a study, pilot study. I mean, they want to do more studies, but MasterPeace, Dr. Robert O. Young, who is currently being targeted, and it's terrible what's happening to him. I will be having a show about that tomorrow night with Matt Haven. But anyway, in the meantime, you might want to take a look and think about doing something that can help remove these plastics from your body and especially from your brain. And this initial pilot study that's been done by Dr. Robert Young, which has been peer reviewed, as actually showing that it is removing toxins, including the microplastics. So we really have to slow down the buildup in the body because it's rapidly increasing in our environment. And somehow it doesn't seem we have as much control over that as we might like to have. So what we need to do is make sure that you think about this. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you can do. There are other ways of detoxing, but I'm going to go with MasterPeace. That's what I've been using. And interestingly enough, I had someone, after I had started using it for a period of time, someone who was capable of viewing someone, which was Margie K. actually, said that she was wondering what I had been doing, because whatever I was doing, I should keep doing it because it was helping substantially. And that was the only thing that I had changed, was I was starting to use MasterPeace. So that being said, I just wanted to give you this information so that you can figure out how you want to detox your body. There's other ways, but this is certainly one of the most important ways that you can use and have results, because they are showing results already with that particular product. And this isn't just about the product. This is about the fact that we are getting our brains full of these microplastics. And anybody who's at all awake, you have to know by now that they are trying to do us in. They are trying to unalive as many Americans as they possibly can. So do whatever you can. I've had them, I found out to check and see if you're still subscribed to my channel. If you hit the like button, a lot of times it'll go on and then it'll come back off. They're taking subscriptions off my channels. I had somebody witness the number of views cut in half from what it originally was. They do that in order to, so you look and you think, oh, well, that's not, it must not be very good because hardly anybody's watching it, or something like that. It's all designed. They don't like people that put truth out there, and I do my best to try to get the truth out there to you. So that's right. It is time to fight back. And hi, New York, and hi, Diabetes Alliance too. Can you imagine? This may have certainly affect diabetes or diabetics as well. So, and it's time for the people have got to stand up and stand for, and let their voices be heard. It's very important, or we're going to end up in a very, very dire situation. Communist through and through. So anyway, this is just a short blurb, and you can rewatch it if you want, but these microplastics in the brain is a very serious concern. There's other sources. My main source from this particular information came from Joe Tuzara, MD, and also information that I got from Dr. Robert O. Young, and also Jared Rand. So you're eating New York, you're eating strawberry cheesecake. Well, hopefully it doesn't have any play in it. Anyway, so that's all I really have for today on this particular subject. And I'm going to do more of these where I just take a bit, take 5 or 10 or 15 minutes at the most of something that I think you need to know about, and get it out there to you. So this, by the way, this is for education and entertainment only. That's my disclaimer. So, okay. Bye, everyone. I'll see you again soon. Much love out there.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, fighting our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Left your voice for those before us. We can rely on one